united as a nation, blessed from above, strong to have made it this far,
unafraid of the future, surrounded by love,
proud, proud of who we are. These fields and the hills beyond recall, they lift us up and never let us fall. We write on the pages of history, legends to legacy.
One vision, one people, one destiny. We all in this with Ralphie. We all in this with Ralphie. Yeah. Yeah. We all in this with Ralphie. Yeah. Yeah. He crossed the floor not for fame or glory. He crossed the floor to rewrite the story. The people vex, the country tight. Ralphie step up to set things right. From Christchurch to St. Lucie, everybody know he stand for we. He watch them laws, line by line. Yeah. He said follow the law, not the head lady. We all in this with Ralphie. We all in this with Ralphie. Yeah. We all in this with Ralphie. Yeah. One vision, one people, one destiny. We all in this with Ralphie. He crossed the floor to unite the country. So everybody sing in harmony. We all in this with Ralphie. Yes, we all in this with Ralphie. Hey, hey. Yes, we all in this with Ralphie. Hey, hey, hey. He said to the house, how you getting this? Watching the chaos, parliament in a twist. One member while another talk too fast. Ralphie step in makes sense last. The people laugh, they clap, they grin, cause Ralphie sharp, he know how to win. The law and logic, he keep them tight. He bring order to the parliament fight. Hey, R-A-L-P-H-I-E. Hey. We all in this with Ralphie. R-A-L-P-H-I-E. Stand up tall for unity. Hey. He tell the PM you head the cabinet, not the state. So respect the law before it's too late. The legal business done on the floor, not in your mind behind closed door. He cool, collected, full of class. He use the facts and bust up, she bubble fast. He shaving down falsehood, clean and neat. Ralphie drop logic on every seat. Tourism built it, build now this new move. Free movement by imagination to prove no legislation to pass immigration gate. Yet you telling visitors come, citizens wait. Ralphie say hold on, let's get it straight. Law before limelight, check the man take. He watching close, the people clap, cause Ralphie catching every trap. We all in this with Ralphie. We all in this with Ralphie. We all in this with Ralphie. One vision, one people, one destiny. We all in this with Ralphie. He crossed the floor to unite the country. Now everybody sing in harmony. We all in this with Ralphie. Yes, we all in this with Ralphie. We all in this with Ralphie. Yes, we all in this with Ralphie. We all in this with Ralphie. Yes, we all in this with Ralphie. Hey, hey, hey. We all in this with Ralphie. We all in this with Ralphie. Hey. We all in this with Ralphie. We all in this with Ralphie. Hey. We all in this with Ralphie. We all in this with Ralphie. Hey. We all in this with Ralphie. Hey, hey, hey. When the bells start twist and spin, Ralphie stepping again. When imagination start on the stage, Ralphie pull it straight. Are you getting this? We all in this with Ralphie.
Persians, hear me now. Yo. If I Aero Barrow could talk today, I got something to say. Boy, 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 boy. Raise your flag, but open your eyes. Yeah. If I Aero Barrow had to speak today, what I see would break my heart away. Nothing changed, just a mirror frame, same corruption, just a brand new name. My people, I'm sad to say, you reaping all you sow today. The pride and industry fade away, and now we fighting to find we way. Life at two extremes, I tell your soul, hope and hunger, high and low. Poverty mixing with champagne flow, but poor man still can't grow. Suffering and celebrating, starving while them still partaking. Nations rise, time to break that spell. Stop showing contempt for yourself. Say you can't change when thieves lead the way. Corruption sweet when give us pay, and government take what poor man lay. Taxation high like mountain peak, while schools and roads still spring a leak. Them flying high, them living sleek, but poor man vice still 2 weeks. So tell me now, who you blaming? Who make the system shaming? Them raise the dead, destroy the cane. No migration needs the pain. You believe that's like the clay, and now me a playing God today. Talking sweet but turn away from the people who make she laugh, she bend and smile she wear like she care, but she can't share. You think she love, you think she fair, or she trying to run you from here? Errol watching from up above. Barbadians where the unity and love we used to build, we used to fight. Now we just beg and say alright. Let we rise again, take back pride, build Barbados from inside. And I, Errol, gone back to sleep again. Errol, but I pray next time I wake, my people go rise, rise I say. Them sharks still alive. Right. Right. Boy, you sell it. Boy, you sell it. Them sharks still alive. We just need to revive. Them sharks still alive. We just need to revive.
Good morning.
Good morning. Where you getting with that?
I'm a pensioner, so I don't pay the bus. This is my pension card.
Why, sorry, but things privatized now.
Oh? Hold on.
But since the new government getting, the transport board gets sell.
What do you mean?
That means that children and pensioners got to pay the travel penny bus.
This is what the Owen Arthur-led Barbados Labour Party will deliver to the pensioners and children of this country if you vote them back into office.
So you got the money to pay?
No, I'm not paying.
Well, then you got to step
I
off
don't
the
have
bus.
any pay, so I will step off.
Well, you got to step off the bus then.
Well, if the DLP government were in it, I would have this.
Should never be a that woman.
That's a dream. That's a nightmare. I mean, I got to pay a bus fare. And as a pensioner, I got to get him and go and vote DLP.
Don't let her nightmare become your reality. Don't put Owen Arthur back in office to privatize and sell off Barbados. Vote for the Democrat Labour Party. Dems now, Dems again.
Whether a foreign entity comes here or not, Barbadians must maintain their rights, and this government or any other government is under a moral, political, and social and economic responsibility to protect Barbadians. The question is asked in all frankness: for whom do the bells of this legislation toll? For whose benefit is this legislation intended? Simple questions. Simple questions. No malice intended and no insult expected when the question is answered. Whether a foreign entity comes here or not,
Good morning. My name is Dale Rowe, the Democratic Labour Party candidate for the city of Bridgetown and the spokesperson on poverty alleviation. I stand firmly against the Miamotley-led Barbados Labour Party government and Transport Minister Santia Bradshaw, I stand against their plans to privatize the Transport Board. This is an act that represents control of the monopoly rather than the commitment to serving our people of Barbados. At a time when cost of living is already unbearable, when rent is rising, food prices are climbing, and too many Barbadians are barely making ends meet, the decision to privatize public transportation is nothing but cruel to our people. This move will push our people deeper into hardship and uncertainty. Let us ask the real question. How is a single mother with 3 children surviving on minimum wage, buying food, and also now have to pay bus fare? How is that pensioner whose pension barely is enough to pay rent, how is he or she gonna maneuver when he or she now have to pay bus fare? Privatizing will not make life better for the average Barbadian. It will raise bus fare, increase the cost of moving around on this island, and yet place another financial burden on households already under pressure. This is heartbreaking. This is unacceptable.
The point I'm making, Your Honor, is that legislation has protected all companies from 1982 to present. The companies are resident here, the activities take place here, the directors live here, they're all local. So the public now is very curious as to why you need this special category of legislation relating as it is to this concept of economic substance. And the legislation today, the amendment today, is defining economic substance, and it is making the activity residential, and the directorship must also be residential. So what is different? For whom is this legislation intended? Now, is the public entitled to ask this government questions, or will this government object to a debate that travels beyond very narrow confines? Is the public entitled to ask whether it is coincidence that this legislation comes at a time that 4 letters find themselves dominating this landscape? U-B-E-R, Uber? Is the public entitled to ask that question? Is the public entitled to ask this government that question? Am I entitled, as a voice, representative of public interests, that question as to whether there is a coincident relationship between this legislation today and the presence of Uber on this landscape? Now, I'm going to read those subsections again. In answer to my question, I think I need to read those subsections again. It speaks of the entity having an adequate amount of operating expenditure incurred in Barbados, which is proportionate to the level of activity carried on in Barbados. Supposing a member of the public, let's choose any member of the public, supposing a taxi driver on Broad Street or in the port raises the question as to whether Uber has made this substantial investment in Barbados, certainly financial or human resource. Supposing that taxi driver in the port asks that question in addition to the other questions they're asking. Supposing the taxi driver out there by, used to be Manning's, I don't know what is out there now, Sheffet or something, or the taxi drivers further down by the Mutual building, by the Sagicor building, supposing they ask these questions as to whether Uber has brought capital adequate amounts of capital into this, whether a foreign entity comes here or not, Barbadians must maintain their rights, and this government or any other government is under a moral, political, and social and economic responsibility to protect Barbadians. The question is asked in all frankness: for whom do the bells of this legislation toll? For whose benefit is this legislation intended? Simple questions. Simple questions. No malice intended and no insult expected when the question is answered. Whether a foreign entity comes here or not, Barbadians must maintain their rights, and this government or any other government is under a moral, political, and social and economic responsibility to protect Barbadians. The question is asked in all frankness: for whom do the bells of this legislation toll? For whose benefit is this legislation intended? Simple questions. Simple questions. No malice intended and no insult expected when the question is answered. Whether a foreign entity comes here or not, Barbadians must maintain their rights, and this government or any other government is under a moral, political, and social and economic responsibility to protect Barbadians. The question is asked in all frankness: for whom do the bells of this legislation toll? For whose benefit is this legislation intended? Simple questions. Simple questions. No malice intended and no insult expected when the question is answered. Whether a foreign entity comes here or not, Barbadians must maintain their rights, and this government or any other government is under a moral, political, and social and economic responsibility to protect Barbadians. The question is asked in all frankness: for whom do the bells of this legislation toll? For whose benefit is this legislation intended? Simple questions. Simple questions. No malice intended and no insult expected when the question is answered. Whether a foreign entity comes here or not, just tell me that. Go. Good evening to viewers here in Barbados and in the diaspora. This is the Thursday edition of DLP TV. This week we are discussing transportation, the lifeblood of the economy. As you know, the government has made proposals to get rid of, I'm not going to use the heavy terms tonight, to get rid of the transport board. I think the transport board has been functioning in Barbados since 1955. How many years is that, gentlemen? 70 years that we've had a transport board in this country. As I said elsewhere, and I'll say here, it has been a part of all the government's programs of social democracy, in which the state, the government invests in certain sectors of the economy, housing, for example, health, education, and transport is one in which the government has invested, not for the purpose of profit, but for the purpose of moving people. Because if the people in Barbados had to pay the kinds of fares that would make the transport board profitable, I beg your pardon, the fares would be prohibitively high. I think it's $3.50 now. You'd probably be paying more like $7, $8, close to $10 in fare. And in a small economy like Barbados, that is not a tenable situation. So that is why transport in Barbados has been subsidized by the government. I like to say that perhaps if a transport board breaks even, that is an excellent result in something that is supposed to provide a social service. So the point is, the transport board has never really been profitable, and it has not been profitable because it is to provide a social service. Anyhow, I've said a lot. We are going to look at transportation again tonight. I think we broke the news on this medium last week that the government had planned to get rid of the transport board, and we had a very good discussion on it. In the aftermath, Sir Roy Trotman has admitted that there is that proposal, and I think the Minister of Transport and Works just this week admitted that the proposal is definitely on. We in the Democratic Labour Party are reserving the right to question the proposal to scrap the transport board. We're going to discuss it here tonight. We have, as usual, an excellent panel. To my immediate right, young attorney at law, Damien Fanas. Damien has been with us so often. Damien, I'm beginning to feel guilty that we're imposing on you so often for these discussions. But Damien is a very intelligent young man. He used to be an athlete. He tells me he's not any longer, that he's not as young as he used to be. 200 and 400 man.
Yeah, retired.
These days he's running around the courts and the legal documents. Welcome, Damien.
Thank you very much, Comrade Leader. Very glad to be amongst friends and family again, DLP TV. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. To Damien's right, the heart and soul, the new heart and soul of St. James South, an excellent young man. His record of public service exists at the Barbados Cricket Association. I think Pedro Graves, who is our candidate in St. James South, is an administrator at the BCA. Pedro is our candidate, as I said, in St. James South, and he works in corporate Barbados. I won't say where, but he works in corporate Barbados. Pedro plays dominoes as well. I don't know how successful he is on the dominoes board, but he tells me he's a very good player. But tonight, he's here to discuss the issue of transport in Barbados. Pedro, welcome to the show.
Thank you once again for having me. Good evening, Barbados.
Always a pleasure. The city will receive perhaps the best representation that it ever will have done after the next elections, because we feel confident that this young man is going to be the successful candidate in the city. Dale is still a young man. I don't think he's in his 30s. I think he's in his 30s, right, Dale?
Yes, sir.
Still a young man. He's the baby here tonight. He has been doing marvelous work in the city. I come here and I always say, Dale, last Christmas morning, when we were enjoying festivities in our homes, Dale was opening up himself to the people in the city. And he took cheer to the people, the young children of the city, and to the adults. And Dale, we are extremely pleased. Dale works in insurance these days. He has worked in the hotel industry. These days he's working in insurance. And he intends that his more permanent job after the next election will be that of representative for the city of Bridgetown. Dale, welcome to the show as always.
Thank you, sir. How are you doing?
I'm well. And thanks for coming as always.
Perfect.
Lovely.
Good night, viewers. Good night, DLP family. Good night, everybody.
Good. I'm going to start with a very simple question. Look, tonight we are looking at the transport board, and as I said on the last occasion, I don't think I remember, well, in my lifetime, I do not remember Barbados without the transport board. In fact, when I was born, the transport board was already existing. And I am going to get personal tonight and ask you gentlemen, what is your personal familiarity with the transport board? Do you remember it? Do you remember catching the bus? Where did you catch it from? Where did you catch it to? I know, Dale, you're a city man, so I don't know if you would have been catching the bus.
Yes.
Really?
City Circle bus, yeah.
Oh, well, let's start with you then. City Circle bus.
Yes, sir. Well,
I used to run from where to where?
So I got the City Circle bus from Carlton Village.
You're a Carlton Village man?
Yes, sir. Directly opposite.
And a Weymouth Fields football supporter? You don't know what Weymouth Fields?
Only cricket, sir.
Come on, Dale.
Only cricket, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We got the City Circle bus to head to Eagle Hall. Then when we got to Eagle Hall, then we got another van to head up to Leicester Vaughan.
Oh,
yes.
To school?
To school, yeah.
So your familiarity with the transport board is from City Circle,
yes,
Eagle Hall, and then from Eagle Hall, another transport board bus, or you were one of the fellas on the yellow buses?
Yellow bus, sir.
Yellow bus.
We're not telling them. But on the evening,
Uh-huh.
after school, I were on the Oysters bus. So the Oysters bus comes into Leicester Vaughan. They get into that bus, and then it takes you all the way back up to Carlton Village.
And this was a transport board bus?
Transport board bus.
The point we're making here is that from very young ages, you were relying on the efficiency of the transport board. And the transport board provided you with a very efficient service. So
yes, sir.
And no complaint?
No complaint.
And this is from the age of?
11.
11?
Yes, sir.
11, okay. Pedro, you're a St. Thomas man. I think you were born in St. Thomas. And I want you to tell the viewers something about your early days with transport board. If you were catching the bus, unless you had some Rolls Royce in the garage.
Of course. So I would have lived in St. Thomas, also in West Terrace, Oxnard's area. So and at time I start from the latest and go back.
Yes.
When my car was down, I could get up from West Terrace and walk to the top of the hill by NCF and get a bus passing at 7:15 that would take me over then to my company called crossing the ABC Highway.
Okay.
Then go back then to when I was going to school.
Yeah, that's part of the interest today.
When I was going to school, we had the option of the Chalky Malt bus.
This is traveling from St. Thomas?
From St. Thomas to Town or British to St. Thomas.
Right.
So you had the option of the Chalky Malt bus, the Shorey Village bus that would pass then by me. The St. Andrew Church bus, you will have to walk a good way or get off and come back down there in one of the minivans, etc. But normally you had many options. You had situations whereby I used to play table tennis at the table tennis set at Nursery Drive, and then you have to leave there at night.
This is by the park?
Yes, and go down to Cheapside and get that bus at night. So you had to run through town to get that bus. So we had days of missing the bus and sitting down waiting for the next bus at the hour. Fortunately for me, when they actually then put the Chalky Malt bus on the route, because the only one used to go the other side, but then which is out through Prout. Yeah. They actually sent one then through Rushmore Hall, and then you had one that was coming in at the half an hour. So if I missed that hour, I only had to wait half an hour at the total hour. So these transport board, you knew what time it was coming. Right. It was reliable. You were able. Excellent. And one of the things I've noticed is that we don't have those reliable times as such. Yes. You can go online, yes, to see when it's actually supposed to come if you're going to bus or not. But the point is, I was speaking to one of the constituents, and she was indicating that there used to be a bus coming through West Terrace. And that bus she can get and go to town and do her shopping, etc. But now there's no bus coming, not until 11 o'clock.
Wow. In the night?
In the morning, in the morning. So there's no early bus coming through anymore. The first bus and only bus is 11 o'clock, and the next one is coming at 5. So those are some of the issues that we face with now.
Yes.
In terms of the reliability of the service.
Right. So you find the service less efficient now?
In some routes, yes. In some routes, the service well, but in others, especially with the issue with the roads in St. Andrew, you're going to find then that a number of the buses there, like, so for instance, I think we've mentioned this last week, that the Shorey Village bus that now leaves town, that no longer goes through Rushmore Hall. That now goes through on the ABC Highway, going also Rock Hall, the St. Thomas Parish Church, and into Orange Hill, and into Shorey Village. So persons there are indicating that you take about 2 hours to get home then in a Shorey Village bus.
Okay. Look, you're an up and on man. You can't come here unless you say something about up and on. You used to catch a bus to Combermere as well?
Yeah, so the bus would put me off then at Mortsey Gate, Terracotta. And I'll walk across the Stadium Road. Sweat as ever. But then it helped you appreciate the finer things in life. Yes. It helped you into understanding that whatever you want in life, you have to work hard for. So I treasure those days because it brought me who I am today.
Excellent. And you're a good man.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Barbadian, You had any history with the transport board catching the bus, or you?
Oh yeah.
Well, tell us about it.
Oh yeah, because I guess my history goes back to when I would have probably passed for secondary school, and I would have been traversing to the north.
North?
Yeah, so all the way from St. Michael all the way to St. Peter. And my
St. Michael, St. Peter?
Yeah.
Along the coast?
Along the coast. My alma mater is Courage and Parry.
Courage Parry?
Yeah. And to be honest, I had to rely heavily on the bus service to get to school, because I was an early morning guy. So I could have gotten up at around 6, and by 6:30, 6:45, I out the house and catch a 7 o'clock bypass bus.
So this is Fairchild or the Princess Alice?
No, well, it was at the Princess Alice, if I think you wanted to catch the Indian Ground, but the Spikestone bus used to pass behind me.
Oh.
Right, so I could have just got on the Spikestone bus, got off in Spikestone, and walk up the hill to CP. Or sometimes if I go to town to catch the bus, I could catch the Indian Ground bus. And the Indian Ground technically doesn't really turn in through that gap that where CP is located. But the bus driver sometimes normally has because it used to be a good set of us, would turn through the gap and take us straight to school.
Yeah.
You know, so it would save us that 10 or 15-minute walk, walking that very, very, very long gap. And it is something that, you know, that I guess that when I look back at it, I guess we took it for granted in the sense that, you know, we have this reliable transportation system. It's not as reliable now, but we had this reliable transportation system that no matter what time of the day when I got up to get to school, I would always be able to catch a bus. If I missed the 7 o'clock, the 7:30 was there. If I did catch the 7:30, the 8 o'clock was there. And then sometimes you had school buses that were just for CP, St. James, you know, Alexandria, and they would come and they would pick us up and take us to school. So you had options. So you never really had an excuse for getting to school late. And that's why, like, when we did get to school late, teachers was like, no, we're gonna hold the attention. We had a very good reliable, because they knew the buses that were on the road. They knew how much school buses they had, because you could have seen the amount of school buses coming in when you got there, and it was very, very, very reliable.
So the transport board was part of the experience of growing up. And Damien, you used the phrase, you took it for granted.
Yeah, I took it for granted then.
And if the government goes through with its proposals, a 12-year-old boy at CP in future, the transport board will probably not be a part of his experience.
Yeah, and to be honest, that is all a part of growing up, because you made friends on the bus. You know, and the drivers, obviously there was a higher level duty of care when they were transporting children or other people to work and stuff. And I was listening to you in Parliament when you said that, you know, the transport board is a social service, it's a service for the people. And it is something that we have to realize that profit cannot be the driving force for everything that is going on in this country. The government has to take the brunt or the burden in providing certain things irrespective of profit. And I believe that transport, most importantly, is that particular service that the government must take on that burden.
I want to go to Dale and Pedro and ask about the question of profit. You think we can have a transport board that is making money, making a profit? Pedro, I'll come to you next.
Yes.
Based on its structure, you think it can?
It is an interesting question, and what I would say is that transportation is a public good, and therefore it is not one that you will want to necessarily make a profit on. However, if any business that is that wants to be sustainable, you would want to make a profit. What I would want to focus on necessarily is the efficiency of and the management of the transport board or the transport authority. So I'm happy you came to me first and you hit the ball rolling with this one. When I went online today, in looking at the Barbados Transport Authority, I could only find annual reports from 2019 to 2022.
Really?
Not saying 2023, 2024, 2025.
That's interesting.
I've noticed.
And by law, they're supposed to report.
Yes. I've noticed that the that we've heard about the divestment of the transport for a long time. However, I believe that maybe this was all part of the state-owned enterprises that we promised the IMF that we will get all privatized, etc. So this falls into line, and therefore the transport augmentation program may have been a soft launch to this. But let's go back to the finances. And you've seen, like, when I was going through the annual reports, there were some comparisons. In 2019, the terminal security expenditure stood at $450,000. In 2022, $450,000.
The terminal
security expenditure.
Security. That's paying for security at the terminals.
At the terminals.
And $450,000
in
one calendar year.
Yes. That figure has jumped to $778,000 in 2022. I can't tell you where it is now.
Why is that figure increasing?
That is a question we have to ask, and that's what I'm sitting here. We have to figure out why the figure has jumped by 75% increase within that period, and where is it now? So, and if you're going to make a decision and you're going to put forward these proposals, we need more information on them as well. You look at things like utilities. Now we boasted of bringing 121 electric buses, and persons will indicate to me that Barbados is developing, but developing worse. You cannot bring in 121 electric buses without a plan. So at every depot, there should be solar panels, whereby then they're being used to charge the actual buses. And I see these buses being charged overnight, and I'm assuming that they're actually using the solar usage, etc. But all these buses are being charged on the grid. So that is why, so when you see the costing of the utilities, you will appreciate and say why it's not making money. And I'm not saying it's really profitable, but certainly the efficiencies can be tailored then, whereby we actually have solar panels, and we're not spending the whole night charging these buses, sometimes twice a day, to get on the road.
If I may jump in here, comrade, I noticed that you said that they charge the buses on the grid. But if you go back to what the government's policy is with energy, they would have said they wanted to move to more solar and to take these things off the grid. Why would you make that your main policy but not outfit the transport board with solar panels so as to streamline your energy usage? Could it be that maybe this divestment was always in the pipeline with this government? So to put on solar panels to charge electric buses would have been a waste of money to them. So we have to question the motives of this government and why they do certain things or they don't do certain things, and bring it to bear before the people so that we can hold them accountable.
So you think this plan was always
I believe
on
so.
stream? I
believe that from the time that we went under the IMF austerity plan, that this was the plan to divest certain state-owned entities, because this has the fingerprints of the IMF recommendations to cut the public service employees, the number of employees, to divest state-owned entities. It just feels as if like this was something that was always in the works for taking that money, and you are now coming to have to fulfill that particular promise to them because you got into bed with the IMF.
Dale, what are people saying about the plan to get rid of the transport board? What people who don't have cars, what are they saying? What's the reaction out there?
We went canvassing today, and that was the topic.
Really?
Yes, sir.
The dominant topic?
The dominant topic. The transport board, it being privatized. So basically, right, a lot of persons work in the hospitality area.
I see.
So when you're working as a maid, a housekeeper, receptionist, bartender, waiter, whatever.
Yes.
Those persons, the shift finishes at 11 p.m.
Yes.
So when you have persons working on the South Coast or the West Coast, the public transportation, once that is privatized, there is no guarantee that you're going to get a reliable service. Remember, persons that own these private vehicles, all of these PSVs, those persons shut off by 7 p.m.
Yes.
because of security risks.
I see.
They expose themselves to being robbed.
I see.
So
crime is affecting the
crime will
service.
affect it.
Yes, yes.
And then when you privatize that, that is also going to put a strain on our people. Because a lot of the pensioners in the city, they are concerned. A lot of average persons in the city, they are concerned. I spoke to a couple people in finance. Persons in finance, they are also concerned. Reason being...
Persons in finance?
Yes. Persons that work in finance.
Oh,
Yeah, learning institutions.
Yes, yes.
Those persons are a bit concerned because persons have line of credit, mortgages, car loans. So when you send home the public, the bus, transport board staff,
yes,
those persons can only get so much from the NIS. Those persons will be at a 50-year-old bracket. They can't get no employment. So how are they going to continue to service the mortgage? Persons on a 30-year mortgage. Persons have commitment for 8-year car loans.
yes.
So how are those persons going to survive? So when we were canvassing today, those are the questions that persons brought.
But I want to ask a very basic question. If you remove the transport board from the landscape, how are people going to move? People who don't have cars. I mean, we who have cars tend to be neglectful of the fact that, or tend to ignore the fact, I beg your pardon, that there are people out there who use public transport.
Honestly, sir,
So
it's going to put a strain on...
What are they going to do?
It's going to put a strain on every citizen in this island. Reason being, it will automatically inflate the cost. So if a fellow decides to purchase a bus...
Transportation costs.
Correct.
Yeah.
I decide to purchase a bus. These people selling out the bus, let me get one. I call Pedro, let me come up with some money. Pedro decide he going for a loan, I went in for a loan, both we get approved for this loan. We have this bus, we have to manage that. So we're gonna treat it like a taxi.
Yeah.
So if you move you from Bridgetown to Sky Mall,
Yeah.
we're gonna charge, let's say, $10.
Yes.
This is only public transportation. And if we move you from Bridgetown to St. Philip, I'm going to charge you 20 or 30. So bus fare will go up by every meter. Every meter you go, they will raise it. Because again, once it's privatized, the government have no control on the bus fare or the times that the buses run.
I think they're maintaining a mass transit authority. Presumably, that mass transit authority will set fares. But you sell let's say a driver, former driver of the transport board, a bus, and if he's to operate that bus, Pedro, profitably, don't the fares have to increase?
Yes, the fares will have to increase, but not will have to, but they will want to increase the fares. The mass transit authority will be personally responsible for keeping the fares at a certain level.
Yes.
The issue that may fall from this, however, is that you're going to have a situation where persons are going to want to go directly to the routes that are profitable. Secondly, they're going to want to go during peak hours. So you will find then that early morning, between 6 to 9, you will get the buses, but then there will be a slow period then between 10, let's say, and 2 o'clock, where there's not much activity. And then you're going to go again, reverse saying at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, school is out, people come out before 3, people come out from work. So what's happening to the person who's traveling at 10 o'clock? So that's a real issue that I'm hearing on the ground. What is going to happen, because people are going to want to go at peak hours, as well as raise the fare. So that's one of the challenges there.
Yeah. Damien, I think it was Pedro who spoke about the transportation being a social service, which is not profitable. I mean, it's a social service.
Yeah.
It's like the hospital. The hospital doesn't make money.
Yeah.
The hospital provides a social service, health care. So that here it is, the transport board or the government is selling a service that is not intended for profit, a social service to people, and asking them to make profit. How tenable is that? How feasible is that, I beg your pardon?
It is basically, it's definitely not going to be feasible on the Barbadian people, because you're taking something that we could probably even call it a social right.
A social
right.
Yes.
A social right. The right to to free transportation, because there are some individuals who will argue that along with education and healthcare, transportation is a social right, a human right, that the government must pass on to the people without looking for any profit. When I was going to school, anybody remember the bus ticket system? Yeah, you used to get the $7.50, and that bus ticket was worth practically $20 in bus fare for school children. And that was something that the government provided. All governments looked at it and provided it, because that bus ticket used to operate on a loss. But at the end of the day, parents could spend $7.50, and for that week at least, you could travel at least $10-20 on that bus ticket. Now, my thing is, right, my thing is that a government cannot operate on a capitalistic mindset with every single social service, or any social service whatsoever, because it seems like this government now is trying to move away from our socialistic values and implement a more capitalistic system. That is why they brought in Uber, I guess, to compete with the taxi drivers, or strong arm them into joining this new conglomerate that's coming here. The biggest losers are the people. And tonight, comrade, I know that the graphic usually has me as an attorney at law, but really and truly, my qualifications, I like them to speak to more me being a sociologist and an economist. And tonight, and wearing my hat, transport, where you might lose in transport, you can gain in other areas if you provide the service. Now, let's say that transport works hand in hand with a healthy healthcare system. That means that you have more individuals who are working once the healthcare system is working optimally, who are healthy, spends less days sick, which means that you have a healthy workforce that's always on the go, minus the sick days. If you provide them with a efficient transportation system, you can get them to work on time, safely, which means that you can recoup more taxes from the amount of bodies that you are getting out to work. A government cannot look at every single part of their social services agenda and assume that they must make a profit here, there, and everywhere. Where you might lose profit here, you will gain profits there, because you're providing an essential service or services to individuals that help them to get to work safely, or be healthy to get to work safely, and where you can recoup those revenues from taxation. But this government doesn't seem to think like that.
And of course, transport is the guarantee that your workforce gets to
your destination.
Productivity becomes an issue.
You know,
and you generate the economy.
You generate the economy, because if
it isn't a free thing. There's nothing free about it. You're contributing to economic.
You're contributing to your economic model, whatever it might be. Because it really fascinates me that this government is so interested in freedom of movement outside of the borders. What about the freedom of movement inside of the borders? Those people that really need to get to work on time and safely and efficiently. Because the more people you can get to work safely, the more people you can have to pull from in regards to your tax revenue.
Dale is, I think, the most technical man here in terms of cars and vehicles. And I'm going to ask you, Dale, about this electric vehicle thing. How efficient? Let me ask you differently. You're a driver at the transport board, and they're offering you a bus. And you have a choice between an electric vehicle and diesel. Which one are you taking? And I want you to advise the public.
So working on...
Not that we're supporting the system, but just in case.
So working on a $12 salary, $12 an hour.
Per hour, yes.
Per hour. Let's say that qualify me for, let me say $15,000, which is just a cash loan from the bank. And then to buy a second-hand vehicle, I can't get this money from the bank. I then have to go to the credit union. And so based on the year of the vehicle, the credit union then gonna want to give the financing. Yeah. So based on what I qualify for, I have to take in consideration my age, one.
Yes.
And then also have to take in consideration what I earn.
Yes.
So if I then want to buy the electric bus, my pockets have to be a little bit deep.
Yes.
I have to be making a manager's salary or some big salary to maintain that. Reason being because the startup costs for these electric vehicles to maintain it is going to be more of a loss to the average black man. You stand a better chance in purchasing the diesel vehicle,
right?
Because you can run that diesel vehicle till you die. Your children can carry it on because diesel engines are made to last.
I see.
So when you look at the Zara vans and the yellow buses, when you think those persons that is in that transportation environment, they like diesel engines. You put a little bit diesel, you fill the tank, your diesel cost is low.
Yes.
And I have one running for the entire day. I can do approximately like 50 trips.
For how many years?
Based on your driver. So if you got a bad driver, it will pull out the belly. But if you got a good driver, your maintenance on that bus will be minimal. Right now, it is not effective for any individual to purchase the electric bus because the government made a bad move to acquire 121
electric
buses. It's a bad move because they can only run for approximately 5 hours, 2 trips. Then they have to charge again.
5 hours, that's 2 trips, and you charge again. And they're claiming to be offering them to the drivers.
Correct. And realistically, none of those drivers will be able to qualify because those persons already have existing loans. So it is just a scam to me.
Pedro, what's going to happen to these electric vehicles? Based on what Dale is telling us, what's going to happen to these 121 electric vehicles?
That we see a number of them parked currently. If government with a bigger purse can't get them fixed, what about the small man? You have a situation where the TAP program, you have you actually persons from a board. There's a pilot probably before the TAP,
right?
Where some of the drivers will actually purchase some of the buses, and a number of them have come out of that because it's not profitable.
So what happened to the buses?
They're not working. Apparently, one, they told maintenance just now. You have a situation where you don't have qualified persons to actually fix the buses. So if you want to weld the chassis, etc., I reports coming to me is that they're bringing someone from China to fix the bus.
Wow.
So those are things that are happening, not being told. So really and truly, I think it's a pretense. He made some good points again about the lending institutions, and it seems to be a pattern of this government because I knew that the Hope project would have, and I'll share a bit here.
The
Hope project would have failed because which lending institution is going to give you a loan when it's not on your land? It was on government land. The land was not given to the as part of the deal. So it was failed, and that's it started wrong from the very beginning. And in this same instance here again, we're seeing a situation where they have not consulted. They are rushing through again with legislation. And recently, in the Nation's article, where the current Minister of Transport, Deputy Prime Minister, will have been trying to defend this. You have persons indicating that TAP was a failure.
Yes.
That the TAP project was a failure.
Yes.
And they can't see how they can actually afford these buses. So it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It has not worked, and it's not going to work. They'll actually and Damien made a point again, and you comrade leader, about the productivity sector. And I'm happy you mentioned that because if persons cannot get to work, if persons are late and frustrated getting in here, it stops. Whether
slows the economy.
Private sector or public sector. It slows the economy down. When persons, you mentioned the tourism sector, when you go to when you leave a hotel at 10 o'clock and you try to get a bus, the most operators are finished at 7. So how are they going to get home? So people are frustrated, they're going to be hungry, they're going to be tired, got families to get home to, they have other lives, personal lives to deal with. It is going to offset, it's going to trickle down and offset the entire, you're going to put a lot of people at risk in terms of safety, right? Are you going to call it Uber to get home? Is that the route you have now for it? Right? So are you trying to find work for these people as well too? So it's a ripple effect that we're very concerned about. And the key is here, transportation, as we keep saying it, as I said, it's not, we can't compare ourselves to the United States.
No.
Barbados
It's too small.
it's too small. We do not have the same resources.
Yeah.
We don't have the same drivers in the economy. So therefore, we have the tourism, yes.
Yes.
But we have to our people are always our biggest asset.
Yeah.
Our people, and therefore we have to invest in our people to drive the economy.
Yeah.
I want to ask a question. It's a difficult question, but guessing is not a bad exercise sometimes. What percentage of our traveling population depends on the bus? I mean, we have a fair number of cars around here, but as I said, when you have a car, you forget that there's something called public transportation. Anybody wants to offer a guess as to the percentage of our population that is doing the bus? I think I see Pedro there working out something very
information. But
Yes.
in the meantime, right, sir, what West Coast hotels do, when they advertise for a particular managerial position, they advertise in the hotel.
Yeah.
Once persons apply and they don't qualify, what they do, they then advertise island-wide. And then what they do, when they know that they want an expat, they market it inside of the hotel, they market it island-wide, and then they submit the document to the immigration stating, well, I have not found any qualified persons for this role,
Yes.
so we have to outsource and bring in an expat.
Yes.
So I'm saying this is that at least 98% of the persons working at Transport Board will not be able to qualify for a loan. So who are who, the persons, the groups, who these buses will go to? Because let me be real, the people at Transport Board currently tied up.
Yes. Yes.
So you know all that will happen. Somebody will collect that monopoly, and that person will benefit from that monopoly. Because the Toyota Hiace, 14 passes, the average person that owns one calling for $500 a day. So if a 14 pass makes you $500 a day, by 30 days is $15,000 a month, non-tax. So what you think will happen? You have a big bus or big buses. You're gonna make more than $500 a day.
You found some figures, Pedro?
Well, yeah.
Percentage of the population that's dependent on public transport.
There's a document that speaks to 100 to 110,000 cars in Barbados.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I would say then that because you work in and some people houses, as you will know, have 2 and 3,
Yes,
4
yes,
cars,
yes,
etc.
yes.
So
And a lot are pensioners, so there's no question.
yes. So if you do that, if you take that to try to get an average, because we all know that the working poor, the poor people in Barbados make up the not have access to cars per se, and they're the ones who use the bus.
Yes.
So I would safely say that more than 50% of the population will be using public
Really?
transportation.
Yeah.
More than 50%.
More than
So if you're
50%.
not moving them at affordable fares, back to Damien's point, what are you doing to the economy? And your point,
Yeah.
you're slowing it down. So what's the solution?
Honestly,
I mean,
the
what
truth,
must this 50% of the traveling population do? I mean, it's not good news for them.
No.
is going to
Yeah.
make our economy harder.
Yeah.
It's going to push people further and deeper in crime.
In crime.
In crime, yes. Let me be real. Cost of living is very crucial right now.
Indeed it is.
Persons are barely making enough to pay rent. So how are you going to pay a raised bus fare?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you have to catch 3 vans and you got to pay $7 a day, $21 a day, you on a minimum wage. When we talk about profit, the profit for the transport board should be the people.
Yes.
The people is the profit, because once we can transport our people safely, on time, what will happen? Those persons then will automatically contribute to the economy, like Damien said. So we need not to look at it as a profit and loss, because we're not losing.
Yeah.
We are injecting into our people.
Yes.
So the more people that can maneuver through Barbados at the same 350 rate, they will obviously contribute to buying all different things and also contribute to taxes.
Yeah,
We can
yeah.
then, the government borrowing all this money. So why put this money into the regathering? Why not inject this money into the transport board?
Well, that's the point. That's the point. We are spending a lot of money on other areas that probably not.
Correct. How is it going to benefit the people?
Yeah.
Saturday night, instead of be gathering on the city, in the city, buses were blocked off. I drove by.
Lots of money being spent there.
You know, and how is it going to benefit those people the next day?
Yes.
Many persons still going to school hungry. Many people still going to work hungry. Fortunate for the hotel persons, they're going to get a meal.
Yes.
But what happened to the average Barbadian?
Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. The ZRs, the fare is $3.50 as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And presumably they make a profit. Somebody's going to ask you, but how come you're saying the transport board won't make a profit and they make a profit? Could you explain that for us, please, gentlemen?
Reason being, everyone jumping here again.
Yeah.
So once you have the PSV, you're operating a minivan. You have minimum overheads. They don't pay taxes. The drivers and the conductors, and you'll be real, they don't pay NIS. Because the few that paid NIS in COVID receive a $50 check. So the government would have encouraged these persons to contribute, and then when they were in need, they receive no benefits. So there are the drivers, the conductors, they don't pay taxes, and the owner of the van don't have to put diesel in the van. All the owner of the van have to do is just make sure that the maintenance is kept.
Yeah.
So I want $500 a day for my van. And you will get $500 a day for your van.
But are you talking chaos on the roads then? Isn't that how they make money?
That's how they make money. But you hustle and bustle. Because they try to get all of the clients, they try to get the boss man money by the morning.
Right.
So the evening now, what they make, they split. So you really think when we privatize the public transport, I start working from 4 a.m. my ZR, or my minibus, or my yellow bus, or my blue bus, sorry. I start working from 4 a.m. and I already made $500 for the boss. I made $750 and I split it between my second man. You really think I can care about driving bus after 7?
Apart from which, they start at what time of morning?
4 a.m.
4 a.m.
Yeah, they start early.
And they work non-stop?
Straight through.
Until 6?
6.
Yeah. 6, that's 12 hours?
Correct.
Wow.
So once
you said they start at 4 a.m.
4 a.m. Some start at 5. Because that is the
6. That's 14 hours.
14 hours.
14 hours.
And those persons make the money, but they don't contribute. So once you own, so the problem with the transport board, they have cleaners, maids, mechanics, all kinds of staff that they have to pay when the week and bi-weekly and monthly. Well, you that own 2 vans, all you have to do is collect money. So Pedro, Damien, I want $500, I want $500. I buy 1 van, I buy 10 vans. So 1 van multiplied by 10, I can make comfortably, that's what, $150,000 a month.
Can any of you gentlemen contemplate a transportation service that is all ZR, or the yellow bus is what, B or BM? B. Right. Can you contemplate a public service vehicle that is entirely ZR or B?
That's scary to me, because I think that we know we lapse heavily when it comes to regulating some of our own PSV vehicles and the service that they provide. Sometimes there are videos that are circling around social media with the way that they weave through traffic, you know, and sometimes they race each other. Even when you're in the van themselves, you might see that rather than pull into the lay-by to let off or some person, they stop in the middle of the road so as to cut off another guy from picking up the passengers down the road, you know. And I personally would not recommend a Barbados that only relies on PSV vehicles. I will not.
So you're putting the case for transport board?
I am putting the case for transport board. There has to be the government has to take on some sort of responsibility to its people. It seems like this government just wants to erase every single thing that has to do with Barrow's legacy, because Barrow was a socialist at heart, plain and simple. He wasn't someone that looked look to see how we could squeeze the profit out of the Barbadian people. He said that the Barbadian people are our resource because we don't have bauxite, we don't have the coal, we don't have the oil, we don't have the things that we can export on mass so as to bring in some form of economic profit. He saw that the Barbadian people was the resource that we needed to compete with every single other sovereign nation on an economic scale. So this Barbados Labour Party-led government, it seems like they just want to erase free bus fare. They want to erase basically free education, well, basically on free healthcare. They want to just take everything that we are so accustomed to and just turn it on its head so that they can fulfill whatever mandate that was given to them by, I guess, the international lenders or what's not. But really and truly though, that then would turn Barbados into something that is unrecognizable. We might see more people struggling and putting a burden on our social welfare systems because they cannot cope with the already high cost of living, and now to add to that possibly high transport costs.
Thank you. Let's embrace our viewers. Let's go to the board. Shirley is asking, is there no company pension for these workers? NIS may not be enough to sustain them. Dale, you know we're coming to you with that question.
Honestly, right, with those workers, those persons have to seek insurance. So a lot of persons that own multiple PSVs would have reached out to myself and other persons as it relates to a group medical plan. True story. A guy driving ZR got into an accident, had some issues with his eyes, and he had no money saved. So the owner of the company would have then reached out to me and asked for group health. So sad to say, those persons that work in the PSV, a lot of those persons don't have any kind of coverage.
Okay.
None.
I see. Judith Ann Clark is saying that the severed workers will not have the finances to buy these buses with other personal overheads, mortgage, etc. Pedro, you're agreeing with
yeah, I'm totally agreeing with Judith Ann. I actually was speaking to some of the bus drivers, and what they were indicating is that they will not be able to afford these buses, one, because one, upfront cost, two, the overheads and maintenance of them. So they're very concerned that this is not necessarily in their best interest to be severed and then not then have any fallback then in terms of personal buses, so they have to find work. And we mentioned it earlier, I think it was Dale, I mentioned that mostly the staff at the transport board are mature staff, over the age of 50. So then I want to see then what the Central Bank report will say about unemployment then again. Because I don't think most of the person will be able to find work. So yes, it's good to push entrepreneurship. However, at this level, I don't think they can afford it, and it's not going to work out.
In addition to that, right?
Yes,
sir?
please.
In addition to that, all financial institutions, they are asking you to be employed, one, minimum of 2 years, and you have to be working for a minimum salary of $2,000 per month. So after you are severed, how can you get a loan in Barbados? Cannot. In addition to that, if you want a self-employed
You're saying
loan,
you're misleading the people there?
you're misleading the people. Because when you send them home, they're dependent on NIS, you can't get a loan. Who's going to give them a loan?
But they can't get it on a business plan. But the bank's not going to approve that business plan on an electric bus.
Not on an electric bus.
Not going to approve.
And if you want to do a business plan, you have to have at least a minimum of 6 months financing reflecting on your business account. So these persons don't have a business certificate. So they don't have to register, and they don't have to open a business account. It's going to take them at least about $1,000 to open a business account. And then they have to show the financing going through that account for a minimum at least a year, to be very honest, to get a bank loan, business loan.
Which brings you to the question then, the government has to know this already.
Yeah, they do.
So then, who do they know is waiting in the wings then?
It goes back to the same point when I said about the hotel sector, saying those employees are not qualified for the job. So the government already know this.
Yeah.
So those 98% of persons that are not qualified, where the bus is going, the monopoly.
The monopoly.
The monopoly.
Let's go to Hazen Crawford, who is reminding us that school children have to pay.
Yeah.
This is another strain on parents' pockets. We've been here talking tonight about adults, but we've forgotten the school children.
Yeah.
And they don't pay for themselves. The adults have to pay. What's going to happen? Can we commit all of our school children to private transport?
No. No.
What's going to happen to the good old school bus? Where some order was guaranteed.
And safety.
And safety, yeah. Isn't this proposal then committing our school children to a chaotic private transport system?
It is. If you look at the Guyana transport system, it's very chaotic.
Guyana?
Yeah. I visited Guyana about 4 weeks ago. And the transport system is crazy.
They don't have an equivalent to our transport
No,
board.
sir,
They don't
it
have
is
state-owned
crazy.
buses.
It is crazy, sir. Big
Really?
PSVs, those guys driving crazy.
Yeah.
Over there is crazy.
Yeah.
So we're going to expose our children to a Zadar culture that we want to eradicate, or we would like to get control of.
Right.
That's a good point, Dale. That is a very, very, very good point.
Yes, Pedro.
Yeah, government has been pushing this reading literacy thing at the moment, and I can tell you it's going to be actually harder because when you go around in communities, not just in St. James South, but in the city around Barbados, you have parents who are already sending their school their children probably 3 out of the 5 days because they just can't afford to send them.
3 out of 5 days.
Yeah, it happens.
They can't get in school.
That is happening in Barbados.
Yeah.
You have
I get the
teachers.
sense, Pedro, that the government either doesn't notice or doesn't believe it.
Yeah. You have a situation whereby teachers in Barbados, and we thank God for teachers, pack school meals lunches for some of the children on Friday evening. So they keep back some on Friday when
Teachers are doing this.
they keep it back the fruits and the food because that child may not get a meal till Monday when they come to school again. A sustainable meal.
Someone told me today that we need to speak, that we've spoken a lot for the police, and we need to start speaking for the teachers.
Yeah.
Yes.
We haven't been speaking much for the teachers. And you're telling us, Pedro, that teachers are doing
This
this.
is what's happening.
Yeah.
So
This
so
great
imagine
challenge
that
schools.
happening now, right? And then you take away, so the government will have no choice but to maintain and carry the burden of the free bus fare for school children. In my humble opinion, because it is a recipe for disaster.
Yes.
Sir, when we privatize, when Barbadians Labour Party privatize the transport board, when you look at the routes right now, they are busy, and they also have some that are not busy.
Yeah, I do.
So what will happen to those persons that live in the area, those areas?
They're either not getting home or they can't leave home
They can't
unless they have a
leave.
car.
Unless you have a car, because the end of the day, why should I drive my van or my bus to a far distance?
Unprofitable destination.
Correct.
Doesn't make sense.
And it's currently happening right now with the PSVs. So a lot of persons want to switch permits to different areas.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen, like, Spikestone is a busy route. So everybody go on drive Spikestone, Jackson, Silver Hill, Oysters.
South Coast, yeah.
So a lot of people, a lot of those persons that are going to take those buses will do what they want.
Yeah.
Because there's no structured, nothing as it relates to, you know what, we're going to dispatch buses in these different areas. Persons is only going to focus on profit when you go privatization.
User WT6Z is saying that the DLP government should make sure that the public transport should remain a social good.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I think that's pretty much what you've been saying.
Yeah.
Let's go to Lemuel then. They seem to be following the dictates of the IMF lock, stock and barrel. And who controls the IMF? The IMF does not support social programs. Pedro, do they?
They don't. They try to instill that we run these programs just driven by taxation, by GDP, and it's not necessary to sustain the actual people that matter within the country. They're looking at the macro level
figures, yes,
and not the micro.
Yes.
And that is why we I know we said we spent time talking to the adults, but pensioners in Barbados,
yes,
they have paid their dues.
That's right.
They've paid their dues in Barbados, and they reserve the right to be allowed to travel. I know that there are many people
reserve and deserve.
Yeah. So you have a situation where right now with the crime in the country, a number of our pensioners don't want to leave home, and they don't want to go and mix up in the ZR culture, etc. And the only time that they may leave home is that they decide, look, you know, today I'm going to get in the bypass bus and go to all these things and get a food. I'm going to go to Spikestown. I'm going to go to Forty Hill, and I'm going to, you know, get out of the house, so to speak. We're taking away that right, that privilege that they have as well.
Yeah.
We don't want our elderly folk who've paid their dues to actually have to then confine themselves to a house and waste their golden years just confined to a house. That's not how we want people to live. So we there need to be part of our society and be able to get up and go and enjoy Barbados. They pay their dues.
What you gentlemen are saying is that transport is almost central to the good and happy life.
It is.
Not the expensive life, but the good and happy life where people can be happy. Old people going out to Spikestown or going out to the boardwalk. We have old people who've never seen the boardwalk in Barbados.
I believe that our transport system, if you want to have it running efficiently, it can be one of the drivers of our economy. Because if you want to talk about tourism as our business, there are some tourists who do not want to get in a taxi or Uber. They might want to use the local transportation. Get on the bus, you know, probably go up the west coast, the south coast, you know, probably go up in the country, you know. It boggles the mind to me that how this government, and especially recently they came out and said that their revenues for taxation was up.
I was amazed.
And their expenditure is also very high, which means this goes to show you that there's something wrong in regards to how they're managing the our fiscal economy and whatever their policies that they're not hitting their mandates.
They said they had a surplus.
I can't remember hearing if they had a surplus.
All right, let's go to Maxine McLean then. There has to be a presumption that the public transport system will not be allowed to descend into chaos, I am hearing. It is absolutely essential that all stakeholders be given details. I think Maxine started to write something else.
Probably one of the characters. I think
you're out of space.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Maxine. Again, the question of chaos. And gentlemen, we are predicting a situation in which if the government abandons the people's transport, this country descends into chaos. I mean, we see it with the ZRs, but can we, as I said earlier, contemplate it on a larger scale, that all public transport is zigzagging in between the other vehicles in an attempt to make a profit? And I don't think the government quite understands how serious this thing is.
Hey, two things can be true at the same time. This government slogan is we care, and at the same time they do not care. Because if you really did care, you would take all of these things into consideration when you're going to pull back social goods like transportation. And already there is an issue with how the PSVs are regulated. People are complaining. There are people who post up videos on social media with madness happening on the road. And then just recently, Dale was, you know, you were there when the ZR had turned over just by Lessavon School. So if you're already lapsing in regards to your regulation as it is, and now you're going to basically pull your hand back from investing in transportation, I could see a lot of chaos on our roads, and that chaos may actually impact our economic standing as it is, because what you portray in this country is going to get out, and what tourist or any individual who's coming here to do business, who wants to get to some place on time, and who might witness that are bobbing and weaving, or somebody just driving crazy, or even looking to see a new inefficient transport system, tell themselves, well, I probably need to carry my business elsewhere, or I need to probably spend my holidays somewhere else. You need to look at these things before you implement these uncaring, thoughtless policies, because you want to give other individuals the chance to make a profit at the expense of the people.
Let's talk then about the entry of Uber. And do you gentlemen think that there's a coincidence between the entry of Uber and the planned divestment of the Transport Board? Is that a coincidence? Are the two policies, or the two policies, activities?
The two policies aren't divorced. There's a nexus.
There's a nexus between them.
There's a nexus between them, because you have to look at the timing. You have to look at the timing for sure. Uber comes in.
Yes.
And they're setting themselves up, and then all of a sudden you hear, we're divesting from the Transport Board.
Yes.
This government is not smart enough to pull the wool over the Barbadian people eye. You can see their machinations in real time, and you can put two and two together. There is, and I'm just going to be short and just say that there is a connection, a nefarious connection.
Pedro, recently the government boasted that it had legislated an increase in taxi fares, and it's ridiculous. You legislate an increase in taxi fares, and then bring Uber to undercut the same people, the same taxi men, and have them sign up 400 taxis, and the Attorney General admitted it in Parliament on Tuesday. Is there some contradiction there? Is there a connection then between the entry of Uber and this divestment of public transport?
Yeah, I think that there is a connection. I think it's a thought-out plan, as mentioned before.
Thought-out plan? You think it's quite deliberate?
Yeah, it's deliberate.
Yeah.
And you even heard initially some of the representatives of the Taxi Association indicating that they would have met with government, and they're on the board, they're going to sign up and everything and stuff. But then about a week later, we heard the complaint saying that the actual Uber vehicles were actually just outside the port.
Uber vehicles?
Yeah, were outside the port, and they said they were not supposed to come so far down. Or, so the point I'm trying to make...
But let's clarify that Uber doesn't have any vehicles.
Right, so
vehicles that are signed up with Uber.
Right, yeah. Were outside the vicinity of the port, and they were crawling about it again. So it seems like if either the regulations are not clear, or it is just something that is going to happen, and they're saying, let's deal with it.
You may have to go to your research again, Pedro. How many taxis we have in Barbados? I mean cars, taxi cars, or vans.
Yeah.
The Zeds. Dale, you might have these figures, because here it is, an industry that belongs to the ordinary Barbadian, the average Barbadian. And you bring Uber in. What does it do? What does it do to these taxis who are not signing up? Because some of them have said that they're not signing up.
So it goes back to what I was saying all night. Who is controlling the monopoly?
Yes. Who is controlling?
Correct. So basically, Uber is going to control the monopoly. Whoever managing Uber, whoever owns Uber, whoever import, in that whole movement, those persons will continue to benefit. When you apply for a taxi permit, you have to wait a while.
Yes.
You have to pay $2,500 for the permit. Then you have approximately 9 months before you can put it on a vehicle. Then if you have the taxi permit, you could import a vehicle duty-free after, I think, 5 years. So the government don't have no kind of control over, the taxis and the benefits, or the profits that the taxis make. So if a government come in and second year in term, you know what the best thing to do? Play the monopoly right, and those persons will benefit.
Yeah.
I personally think that I know for a fact, right, sir? Persons will benefit. The rich will benefit from this movement. Yeah, the rich will benefit from this movement. And the average Barbadian will go deeper in poverty.
Including the taxi men who don't
Including
sign
the
up.
taxi men. Because when you don't sign up as a taxi driver, those persons then, will be shafted. Reason being, they know that once you privatize the transport board, persons will not work after a particular period.
Yes.
So then, who is the direct contact? If you don't have a taxi person contact, you're going to reach out to the Uber. The Uber going to give you a cheaper rate, and it will force you to only want to use Uber as opposed to using the taxi. So the taxi man will be at a loss, and all people will pay more in transportation. Well, whoever will benefit.
So let's say a taxi chap, 45 years old, he owns his own taxi. Damien, what is his future in Barbados? If Uber, and we're not here to attack Uber, we're talking about government's policy, because I'm insisting that the government brought them. I'm insisting that. A chap 45 years old who has his taxi, he's been fairly optimistic. He's been working outside the hotels or Broad Street. What happens to him? What is his future? 45 years old, has his taxi, has 2 little children, 2 or 3 children, and he's been doing some jobs. What is Uber going to do to him?
Well, it's going to dry up his livelihood. Basically, it's going to put him in a position where that he's going to see significant decreases probably in his income, because more individuals are probably going to prioritize using Uber, and who probably doesn't want to be under that umbrella of a transportation body. He said, I'm going to go and I'm going to hustle.
Yeah.
But he realizes now that the more he's hustling, he's spending money in gas, just maybe looking to pick up a fare.
But if he has to compete with Uber, is he going to drop his fares, or does he have to drop his fares?
He more than likely probably is going to have to drop his fares.
So he becomes unofficially an Uber.
Yeah, he becomes unofficially an Uber.
Yeah.
But then now his overheads aren't dropping. You understand? His overheads now in regards to maintenance and fuel, those are things that are not going to come down. So basically he will be operating at a greater loss.
I want to ask the question then, and again I insist government invited them. Why would government have done this? I mean, why?
I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. I believe that you can see the contrasting ethos between the parties.
Yeah, and philosophies. Yes.
The Democratic Labour Party are the working man's party. They are for people. They believe in the socialistic values that are entrenched in our institution itself.
Yes.
The Barbados Labour Party is more of a capitalistic party. They look for profit wherever they go.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody can have experienced this, but when I was growing up, I always used to hear my grandmother say, the DLP is the rich man party. You understand me? And the DLP is the poor man's party. I've always heard that. I don't know if anybody else in the audience has ever heard that, but I've grown up hearing that. And you can see that is what is really going on. The Barbados Labour Party are not taking into consideration the average man that this is going to affect. People that they've told that we're going to represent you. Give me the vote and watch me. Yeah, we gave you the vote, or they gave you the vote. But at the end of the day, we're not seeing the dividends coming out from your policies to the people.
Yes. Dale?
Sir, let's say over 50% of the taxis that are operated in Barbados are not owned by the drivers.
50%?
Over 50%. Those persons that drive the taxis, they're leasing the taxis.
50%?
$400, yeah. Over 50%.
400 per week?
400 per week, 450 per week, 500 per week.
Paid to the owner?
Paid to the owner. So then when you have the Uber that is operating off an app, and then, consignment.
Yes.
What will happen to those individuals that have to pay this minimum of $400 per week? How is he, the taxi driver, going to pay the owner, pay his rent, and 2 or 3 children?
I want to ask something about Uber though. Are Uber rates standardized, or do they fluctuate?
is it a marketplace in which a chap says, well, look, I charge $30, but I'll do this one for 20? That happens, or their rates are standardized as well? Anybody knows?
I believe their rates are standardized.
Standardized,
Yeah.
but they're just beneath the regular taxi rates.
Yeah, I think they might actually do a system where they might charge per mile or something like that.
Per mile?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I believe it's something, I could be stand to a correction, but I believe it's something where that they count the miles and they give you a price per mile or something like that.
Let's go back to the board then. Pedro, you had a figure for us as the number of taxis, or you didn't? We saw you doing some research.
Again, the report and the reports don't give you up to 2025.
Oh, okay.
But a gauge here, I'm reading from 2020, where there was a breakdown. You had Z active permits, 2,229.
2,229.
ZM, 834. ZR, 502. H, 3,860. BT,
how many H's?
3,860. BT, 148. B, 241. BC, 77. HL, 43. And HC, 21. A total of 8,002. That was in 2020.
I'm impressed. You did that addition yourself?
I'm reading from the report.
Oh, okay. Look, we if we're talking about vehicles, let's talk about roads. We went to St. George on Monday after the flood, and we actually took up on camera parts of the road, the Miller Pave project. And it seems that the floods exposed the Miller Pave project as a failure.
It is a failure.
It is, David?
It is.
Yeah. So you have, all roads are not in good condition, are they?
No. And I don't think that people really appreciate that bad roads actually carry up your fuel costs and your maintenance costs.
Oh, without a doubt. The cars and the body.
Yeah, all right. The maintenance is one thing, but I don't think people really understand that bad roads really do carry up your fuel costs as well. So you traversing on bad roads, and I guess that the last time we would have hosted, we would have looked at, I would have asked a question, is it time to probably move away from the asphalt itself and maybe invest in concrete roads, which would be more expensive, but they last longer, and also they absorb CO2.
I read somewhere that the concrete roads are hard on the tires.
I guess it's a give or take system. Because the current system now with the mill and pave and the asphalt, those roads they deteriorate very, very, very quickly. And now we're seeing now that the weather is basically it's very unpredictable, and and if we're going to, be, I guess, honest, there's no way that the roads should look like that after, even though they had a flooding. There's no way our roads should look like craters or chasms or canyons.
The top actually came up.
Right, and that is more money you have to invest in fixing those roads. And so you're going to go back to the system that you're using, which shown that it's ineffective, to go and fix them again for then something else to happen, and then you got to go back to the cycle of repeating it. It makes no sense. We have to probably maybe, I guess, pivot and use some of the money that you're borrowing, to tell the truth, because I really don't know where it's going.
Yeah, which leads to my question. Why are we appearing not to be repairing our roads? I mean, I sometimes don't understand, quite frankly.
Comrade leader, it's actually quite interesting because our sports person who was supposed to be here tonight for transportation had car troubles. Because of the roads.
Pedro had a car problem.
But one of the things that he continues to
the other Pedro.
One of the things that our general secretary.
Yes.
One of the things that he continues to agitate for is 24-hour or overnight maintenance of the roads.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, because what he's saying is that we are collecting millions. You're boasting again of the millions you're collecting in revenue for fuel tax.
Yes.
But we're not seeing it reflected on better roads,
Yeah.
or better maintenance of those roads.
Yeah.
You go down St. Stephen's Hill, there is a massive rock blocking I call it a well. Anyone goes down to that, the curb match is written off. That needs to be fixed, right? When you go through St. Thomas, it's one of the worst roads.
Bridgefield.
Bridgefield
has a neighborhood yet?
Shop Hill
is bad too?
Yes.
Shop Hill is easily the worst road in Barbados.
You sure it's worse than Bridgefield?
Yes. Shop Hill is worse than Bridgefield.
We're going on location next week.
Right, you have to go in there order.
Yeah.
Shop Hill is the worst road in Barbados. I am saying that it is very, very unfortunate that you can have an administration in power for so long and they're not dealing with it. It's not
That's a major thoroughfare, isn't it? Into the heart of St. Thomas.
Especially saying that you have parts of Rock Hall blocked off, you have Bridgefield blocked off, so persons now have to go all around to Jackie the Box Gully to get into Welshmore Hall.
Yeah, what's happening on that side of the island?
Jackie the Box Gully used to be one of the worst roads in Barbados. But I actually would say no, it's actually one of the best.
They fixed that one. What's happening on the East Coast? There was last time I saw the East Coast, there was some diversion on the coast, the East Coast Road itself.
So when you going down into St.
Somebody built a house or something?
Oh, you're talking about the
No, not that matter. That was not the
you're talking about the So when you're going
was
down,
there that diversion on East Coast? I'm sure I saw it a few last year.
which one you mean?
No, you know the old East Coast Road.
Okay,
The famous East Coast Road. And isn't this a part of it that has been diverted inland?
What's up? You're talking about inter-shore vision building a bell plane. So you go actually go in, if you go to bell plane where the ranches, etc. down in St. Andrew. Because the bridge that was broken down over St. Joseph, they then had to cut a road then for a person to get into the bell plane from Shorey Village.
Am I hearing that the East Coast Road repairs are not going well? That they try to fix some bridge and they can't get it done and they're doing it over and over? Anybody here went to the East Coast in recent times? Our photographer Roman I keep telling Roman he has to be here.
White Hill?
White Hill. Oh, yeah, the White Hill project.
That has been an issue for a long time.
That's right. And it's not finished.
No. That has been an issue for a long time.
Yeah, all right, let's go back to the board. We have Roman under some pressure behind the camera nodding away. Keith Padmore, public transportation is a key component of the workforce in Barbados.
Yep.
You're right about that, for sure. Vihoy, do we have an audit from Transport Board? What would you do to keep Transport Board viable and self-sustaining? Do we have an audit from Transport Board? I think Pedro told us earlier that we haven't had an audit since.
But I haven't seen it published.
Yeah,
so
there's no reporting.
Right, there's no reporting for it.
Right, let's not accuse them wrongfully, but you haven't seen it. And if you haven't seen it, chances are it doesn't exist. Because you're a very good researcher.
And you have parliamentary privileges, I don't.
Yeah, well, you know. Okay, not here, I don't. I've grown up hearing that the BLP is for the merchant class, and we can clearly see it in action. Lovely, that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Damien, Judith Ann, I was an owner of a taxi for close to a decade. I would not want to be in the business now. Judith Ann, I've never seen you driving any taxi. So what else do we have on the board? One more? Nobody else? Lemuel Toll isn't talking to us tonight again. Lemuel is one of our more prolific writers. Let's answer Vihoy's question. Let's go back to Vihoy. Vihoy was asking a very interesting question. Can't find her?
And this is what she was asking what we would do to make it profitable, or at least sustainable.
Yes, she was asking that, what we do to make it profitable.
To be honest, right, I do not see a profitable transport board system in Barbados. I do not.
You don't?
I do not.
You mean money profit?
Money profit.
Yeah.
If you break even, that is a good year.
Oh, that's
a good year.
Yeah.
But I believe that if the system is efficient and is running immaculately, you might be able to pick up profits in other areas You know, it might actually help with your tourism product. It might help with your workforce, which helps you to get more revenue from taxes. You know, you have to give a little to get more. You know, so it's like, I've heard you saying, if you sell everything you want,
You gotta buy everything.
You gotta buy everything you want. So you have to give. You have to give basically, and if you have it operating on a system where that it is efficient, I believe that it will help you in a lot of other economic sectors. That's where your profits will come.
Yeah. Vihoy is again saying we need engineers. We are building homes and neglecting our infrastructure like our roads. I'm particularly attracted to that because on Monday when we went to Charles Road Bridge, the lady who took us on the tour, and she's a resident, I think she took us to a gully and the gully was not cleared. So when you saw this flooding up there, they're telling us, look, you can't blame the government for the rain, and we don't blame the government for the rain, but the drains weren't cleaned, and there was a fridge in a well.
There was a fridge in a well?
Yes, there was actually a fridge in a well. Now, how do you claim to be looking after your infrastructure and there's a fridge in a well? And Judith is answering me. Judith says she wasn't driving the taxi. I employed a driver. I had my vehicle based at a reputable funeral home. Okay, Judith, we accept your clarification, but always a pleasure hearing from you, Judith.
Come on, leader.
Yes, please.
Going back to the comment with the fridge in the well.
Yeah, there was a fridge in the well.
I think that we are seeing evidence. We're seeing evidence that this government was divesting itself from the public workforce from the time they stepped into office.
Yes.
They knew that they wanted to, I guess, compact it. They wanted to lessen down the numbers of government employees, and that's where you're probably seeing certain things like drainage suffering because they don't have the manpower, or they're not setting up the individuals to do their work in, I guess, in a cost-cutting measure or something like that. But there's no way a fridge should be in a well, and that would have never happened under the Democratic Labour Party government. We especially took drainage very seriously coming along to hurricane season, because we knew that with the increase of water, the inches and stuff from the rainfall, you're going to get flooding. So we wanted to make sure that those channels and canals and gutters were free so as to alleviate it. This government, I believe this government from the onset has divested itself from the public workforce, and now they're looking to divest themselves now again completely.
It's interesting. Yeah, Dale.
Sir, as it relates to Vihoy comment, as it relates to the engineers,
yes,
it was brought to my attention this evening. This is out by Titchborn. So you by bus around the boat heading towards Barbados.
Yes.
After you pass Slam, you make the second left turn onto Titchborn. It was brought to my attention that there are 3 Chinese houses, the units.
Yes, I've seen those. I've seen those.
So 2 of those buildings, they are actually sinking into the ground.
People not living in them?
No, people are in them.
Are in them.
So those persons that live there would have spoke to persons from housing and the relevant people that collecting the rent. Indicate to those persons that the houses actually going further into the earth, because all the houses, all 3 of the units, they are built on columns at least about 3 feet on the cellar, and 2 of those properties is sinking going down. So more than likely, we have to get some engineers to come and go and check. That is Granger constituency.
Yes, Ainsley Granger, or
correct.
Our man is St. Michael East.
Yes.
Welcome, Ainsley. I hope you're watching.
Yeah, so it was brought to my attention this evening around 4 p.m. and then myself and the canvassing manager, we took a look and we actually saw.
But what are you doing at Ainsley's constituency, my friend?
I feel quite Barbados all the time, sir. So we definitely need to get engineers before we just decide to build properties to put people in. Because what could happen is the same British situation where everything went down.
Yeah, well, another night we have to come and discuss housing. We're going to take 2 programs on housing. Damien,
come on,
say something.
I'm going to respond to Mr. Richards' comment when he said.
Mr. Richards?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we had no flooding during the DLP tenure. Sir, that's not what I said. I said that during the DLP's tenure, we would have taken things like drainage very seriously.
Yes.
So as to alleviate some of the flooding that would have been happening, that would have come with the rains during the hurricane season. What you're seeing now is from this government is a drawback on simple things like drainage. Not even simple, it's very important things like drainage.
Yeah, please correct him.
Because there's no way a fridge should be in the well.
Correct.
We would have had individuals going out and checking those particular areas that we know are flood prone, and would have done the work to make sure that the drains and the wells are cleared to alleviate the flooding.
Well, I can support
yes, Pedro,
Damien.
please.
I can support Damien on that note because when I was canvassing in the Torps area and Jurors, etc., persons were indicating to me that they have not seen the drainage division or anyone come to clean the drains for over going on to 10 years now.
10 years?
Yeah, so it was no surprise then that places like Crystal Heights were heavily affected by the rain, etc. And you see, we still have good people in Barbados because some of the residents in Crystal Heights, some of the residents in Torps, they actually have taken it upon themselves to go and clean, etc.
Okay.
But the point is that as a government,
Clean in public places?
Yeah, the drains, right?
That's
Because of the,
nice.
yeah, so there are some good people in Barbados who will do that at a community level.
Yes.
But realistically, the maintenance is the issue, and we need to make sure we get to these sites on an annual basis.
Yes.
One of the things that I see, and I'm not in any way trying to show up anyone, right, any of the workers,
Yes.
but one of the things that a pet peeve of mine is that people will clean the drain, and then you see the stuff right next to the drain.
Correct.
And then they go, and then 3 days later or 5 days later, someone comes down to rake up and put it on, but if rain falls in between there, they're back in the drain. So we need to be more conscious. It's not a government issue at this point. No, I'm speaking of. I'm saying we need to be more conscious of what we're doing.
Yes.
Secondly, the next part will be the fact that I see some drains, and I'm no engineer, and I agree with the person that we need engineers to look at the roads structure better, because for me, in layman terms, a novice, why we have the drain at the higher point as opposed to the lower point.
Yeah, yeah.
So things like that I've seen. I'm like, but again, someone will tell me how it works. But for me, I think we need some engineers, more engineers. And again, we have to. I don't want to go down this road, but I know we have very reputable companies that have proven and tested in doing road works in Barbados. But there are some companies that we're finding coming up now out of the woodworks. We're wondering what is the experience. But I'm going to try very carefully.
We're both smiling. Let's go to Keith Padmore. Because of the importance of having a reliable public transport bus service with affordable bus fares, leaving this up to a private sector that's driven by profit will not provide the solution needed. Thank you so much, Keith. You've summarized what we've been saying here, and I think you've summarized how the public feels about this issue. We simply cannot live in a country in which Pedro is telling us 50% of our traveling public is traveling by public transport, and you divest and send it into a private sector, and fares will have to go up. This is not the way to go, and I hope we can make that a Democratic Labour Party position.
It most definitely should be. And I want to speak specifically to my Barbadian brothers and sisters. This now, the power in regards to, I guess, fighting this new initiative from the government is in your hands. A Democratic Labour Party government would never divest itself from transport or something like healthcare. We are seeing that this government is taking a capitalistic approach, and I believe that it's guided by the IMF principles that even certain scholars criticize, saying that they impugn on the sovereignty and the economic independence of certain countries.
Yes.
Once you rely on the IMF, then you are compromised.
You're subject to their dictate.
You're subject to their dictate.
Yeah.
So my thing is that people, we cannot sit back on our laurels and allow this government to I guess, dictate how we are going to live in society for our children tomorrow.
Excellent.
Because it's already bad enough that cost of living is high. What do you think paying for transport, probably by, I guess, by a certain distance you pay this much, and then by the extra distance you pay more? How is that going to impact you? How is that going to impact your household?
Let's hear what Keith Padmore then is saying about transport fares, bus fares. The current bus fares are burdensome, $70 per week for persons taking 2 buses. There should be a transfer system in place based on the current fares that are charged. So he's giving specifics. I was in St. John this evening, let the government know I was up there, and there's a lady who is a security guard, and she has to get to work at 7, and I think around, I left up there around, that's why I got here late, I apologize, left up there around 5:30, and she had left home an hour and a half earlier, and I think about that, and she still had not got a bus.
Wow.
So the people in St. John, and you know, let us agitate on behalf of our constituents. The people in St. John are having a horrible bus service.
Yes. My canvas manager, he's from St. John.
Really?
Yeah. And
I hope he plans to vote.
yeah, for sure. So him and his whole family voted the Democratic Labour Party.
Lovely, lovely.
Yeah, you know, basically, right, he's from St. John, and couple nights we had different events in the city. So when he, you know, got ready and he were about to leave home around 7:38, he had to walk from where he lived at least 30 minutes before he could get any kind of transportation. And he's right there.
How many minutes?
About 30 minutes or more.
That was really.
He had to walk from where he lived in St. John before he could get a bus.
Yeah, yeah. Pedro, you saw something on the board that we. John Rock. Yeah, let's go. John normally gives us very good information. John Rock. Yes. There was a drainage unit in place when the BLP took over. The numbers were reduced during the government's restructuring.
There it is.
That's the problem.
And there
because
it is.
on Monday when we went to St. George, they were asking us if there's still a drainage unit in place. I said I think so, but they sent them home. They sent some of them home.
Yep.
So there's less work to be done. I mean, climate change is real, and if you have climate change, you're going to have more severe weather. So you should not be talking climate change and sending home the drainage unit people, because I think we are having more severe weather. There is climate change. The storms are coming later in the year. It used to be October all over. Now we're down in November, December. We're still having bad weather. So again, government's policy is not consistent with its words. We have climate change. Adjust the personnel in your departments accordingly. Can we go to somebody else, please?
Comrade Leader, I don't often want to understand your point just now about the morning words, not the evening words.
Yes.
You said the government was not consistent. I think that this government is very consistent.
Very consistent.
The government is very consistent. Very consistent in every single piece of legislation that this government continues to bring. Continues to be oppressive. Attacking the small man. Yes, they are consistent about this government.
Every
piece of legislation. Whether it be the thing, whether it be the corruption, whether it be the Tourism Accommodation Act, whether it be the fuel tax. Every single, and now this transport issue, every single legislation or regulation they bring is oppressive.
Well, look, we're still on transport. You mentioned tint. Need we warn Barbadians that the tint deadline is in a few days? 1st December?
Yeah.
1st December?
Yeah.
What are we going to do? What are you going to do, Dave? You got to strip off that tint, that dark tint I saw in your car.
You know what song about the pain killing people, sir? How many murders we have for years, sir?
Precisely. We had 2 yesterday.
2.
Any tint involved?
No tint involved.
And
you know,
and has anyone
we've learned to laugh at it, you know. But
has anyone noticed that
Barbadians?
There seems to be this I guess I won't call it a cover-up, but that's the only way I can describe it. Does anyone know what are the actual numbers for the murders are this year?
44.
It's 44?
Yes, please.
44. And it seems that this government, this government is doing every single thing other than actually addressing the amount of murders.
Well, it's become a cliche. They're taking it for granted.
It's almost
the mere fact that we are regarding murders in numbers shows that the society, I don't know what to say, they've come to accept that they will happen, but it seems as if we've come to accept that they will happen. Here it is, we are saying it's going to be record numbers, which means we are implying that there will be more murders, and that's tragic. That really is tragic. When we come to accept that people are going to be killed, that's not good. You're looking for some figures there, Dale?
Yeah, because I saw a social media influencer posted it today.
Okay. You've given the information without the name? All right, while you give that, go back to Keith Padmore. I'm from St. John as well. Comrade Thor, looking forward to meeting you again. Last time was more than 35 years. Keith, we met more than 35 years at the service station in Fort Road. I hope it had some good cricket. Because the name Keith Padmore, well, not the Keith Park, but the Padmore name is a good cricket name. That wouldn't be Keith Holder. Keith, I hope we meet again soon. Give me a shout tomorrow, please. I'm back up there tomorrow. This is DLP TV, and I'm entitled to advertise. I am back in St. John tomorrow evening. Where are you going tomorrow evening? You campaigning in the city?
Yes, sir.
My friend Pedro.
Always in St. James.
Always in St. James. So this is DLP TV.
You want me to come to John? I saw you playing some road tennis there the other day.
Yes, sir. I saw you playing road tennis.
Was it backhand?
That's the best backhand. I have the best backhand in the DLP. Yeah, of course. But I learned my road tennis and what the road was at.
I would have met someone recently who told me that you taught them road tennis.
Really?
I think his name is Rodney.
Rodney, that's my buddy.
Yeah, he told you must tell Ralph that
Rodney, okay. Rodney and I grew up in Rockhampton together. I think he lives in Carnival Village.
Yes, he does. That's right. Met him close up there.
I taught him road tennis and he taught me to swim.
Wow.
One day we went to the beach. I was probably about, I'm too embarrassed to give the age on which I learned to swim. And these fellas smaller than me hit off down Paradise or Brighton, and they're gone. I say, well, I'm older than them, I got now too. And that's how I learned to swim. Watching fellas younger than myself swimming, so that's how I learned to swim.
Wow.
And Rodney was one. Rodney could swim really well.
Nice.
Well, let's get back to the program. Let's get back to transport. And we were discussing the state of the roads, and we had come to 10. And we were about to use this medium to warn Barbadians. What's today's date? How many days are we away from?
I think it's the 20th.
Draconian law.
Today's the 20th.
20th?
Yes. Yeah.
So we're 10 days away from having to strip the road's car.
Yes, sir.
No, it's really oppressive, Pedro.
Was he fined again?
$500.
And I think $10.
I personally believe that the government is going to make some good money out of it.
Well, that's what the lady said.
Yeah, because
that's what the lady said. I want money.
288,000 people living in Barbados, and how much vehicles we have?
110,000.
110,000 vehicles.
If half of those have that thing.
So we're paying, a couple of millions.
But there was some story in the media last week with the tint testers.
Not being paid.
Not being paid.
Not being paid.
Well, let's hope.
All of those persons that work.
We want them to be paid, but we don't want them to work.
There are persons that working right now for the MTW that have not been paid.
Really?
Wow.
We had an interaction. I had an interaction with some young people that works with the MTW, and
so we have public servants who are not being paid.
Not being paid. Yes, sir. At current.
But the airlines getting paid.
Yeah. These persons work right in a high traffic environment. They are young. These are young people.
Young people.
Young people.
And these are temporary people in the public service. Young temporary.
Young temporary. They have not been paid for the past 3 months.
What their children?
I felt bad, and we bought lunch for them a couple of weeks ago, because every day these young people come to work religiously.
Yeah.
And have not been paid for the past 3 months.
Well, Strawn was in Parliament this week saying that the economy is doing well.
Well, these young people's work.
And that revenues are up.
Okay. So the
government revenues, I take it.
MTW have a unit inside of the Bridgetown port.
Yes.
That comes out and check the vehicles.
Yes.
And those young people haven't been paid.
So how does a finance minister say revenues are up and he's boasting, and we're doing well, the economy is doing well over the last 3 quarters, and then you have people working in your very government system who are not being paid? What is this? So you see, as you're saying, Pedro, the talk, you get a lot of talk, but that talk is not connecting with people's reality. An economy that's supposed to be doing very well, but people, government workers, are not being paid. In 2025, can we go back to the board, or are we done with the board? Oh, it's time. How it flies when we enjoying ourselves. So what are we going to do? We play a song, we say good night? Okay. Any final comments? Road transport, that's what we are on tonight. Road transport. Dale, you're happy with the roads and transport in Barbados? We're all against the divestment. That's clear. Let's end on the roads. How are the roads? Score these roads out of 10. 9 out of 10.
I give it a 1.
A 1.
Reason being, sir, every couple meters is a pothole. And these potholes blow your car tires.
Yeah.
And a car tire running you about like $200.
1 out of 10 the roads. Pedro James, St. James, South Central. How are your roads down there?
What I would say to you is that the roads and the highways leading to the airport, the hotels, that probably give them a 6. But the roads in rural communities and into the villages, I'll give it 2.
A 2. Yeah. So 6 out of 10 for the roads leading to
the hotels and the villas, etc. But then towards the inward Barbados, then I'll say 2.
I see so many large potholes in Barbados. Let us tell the government that roundabout that leads down to Graham Hall on ABC. Coming out of that roundabout going east, there's a big pothole just coming out of the roundabout. It's been there for months and months. We want the government to go fix that one because cars coming out of that roundabout. My car fell into it last week.
Sir, all honesty, right? I don't think that we as a people should have to be discussing roads. It is the duty.
It's the duty. So the government shouldn't be getting applause for roads.
Fix roads when we have cricket or when we have the by-election.
Yeah.
They should be on the consistent
or when the came here.
Even that. You know, we should not have to ask for our roads.
Yeah.
We invest so much in tourism. So our tourists come to see these bad roads.
Yeah. So you gave 1 out of 10. You're not going to increase it? You marking hard, or?
Honestly, sir, I am.
Are you staying at 1 over 10?
I'm staying at 1 because honestly, right, there are roads in the city that persons walk and wring their ankles.
Wring their ankles, yeah. 1 over 10.
Greenfield, Beerland, you have Chapman Lane, Orleans, you have places that have roads that are really bad.
Pedro, the tourist roads, you say 6 out of 10.
Yeah,
but the local major roads, 2 out of 10.
Yeah, I saw a release saying they were paving close to the airport again recently. Last week.
Yes. I drove by there on my way to St. John's.
You see a lot of activity in many city roads in certain areas. We're saying there's a lot of other places in Barbados. You go into Durance, you go into Torps, you go into Halls Village, you go across West Terrace.
Yes.
St. Thomas, as I mentioned before, St. Andrew. And there are a number of issues. St. George.
Yes.
One of the best places is not advertising, Comrade Leader. But I go to Sweet Bottom for myself. And that road that leads to Sweet Bottom, and it is horrible again.
Really?
Yeah. But a guy told me that the south is not worth the maintenance. Because I'm crazy for going for it.
But it is good south.
It's good south.
Okay, bad road south. David, you scoring the roads?
Oh, I definitely score in the roads because Dale said something that
Dale said 1 out of 10.
Well, Dale said something that triggered me not too long ago because most of the time I walk on these roads and twist my ankle.
Really?
You honestly, right? I twist my ankle.
Give us a score.
-3 out of 10. -3. And that is because they would have put things in place to fix the roads. And they're not fulfilling that because it seems like the roads getting worse as they try to fix.
Yeah.
And they're playing catch up. So -3.
-3. All roads lead to St. Lucie constituency meeting on Sunday. That's Sunday, Director. At 4:30. This is going to be a good meeting. Our new candidate for St. Peter, St. Lucie, sorry, Jason Phillips, sorry, Ian Griffith. And on the weekend I saw Ian and I called him Sixes. He said, boy, you got to be my friend to call me Sixes. I said, okay, Sixes. So, Ian Griffith is our candidate for the constituency of St. Lucie. I'm reading this. Gentlemen, you come into the meeting. All roads lead to St. All good and bad roads lead to St. Lucie on Sunday at 4:30. Constituency meeting. Obviously, Ian is going to be dealing with the water situation. It says here on the flyer, fix the brown water now, selling out our transport system. St. Lucie deserves better. The St. Lucie Church Hall, that's the parish church hall, that's in, what's down there called, Director?
It's called
Checker Hall? Fairfield? Isn't that Checker Hall?
Nestfield.
Nestfield?
Yeah.
Our Director is a St. Lucie man. Anyhow, 4:30, we're inviting the whole of St. Lucie, the whole of St. Peter, the whole of Barbados who can get there. 4:30, the St. Lucie Church Hall. This is the parish church, the Anglican parish church. Gentlemen, that's easy to find. The last roundabout on the highway, and the church hall is across. It's across the road. 4:30 p.m. Right, Director?
Yes.
Sunday, 23rd November, 2025. The speakers, Ian Griffith is the main speaker. This is his first speech as our candidate for St. Lucie, and let me tell you, the feedback from St. Lucie is amazing. I don't know who plans to run against Ian Griffith, but they'll be walking because Ian is running and winning. And I will join Ian and have a short speech. Ian is the man on Sunday. So everyone come to St. Lucie, 4:30. What is happening to the people in St. Lucie is not right. We agitated earlier this year for people who are getting that quality of water not to pay bills. And we want to say to the people in St. Lucie, the position of the Democratic Labour Party is that you should not be paying bills. If you're having contaminated water, if you're having water that you don't know what it's doing to your health, it's not water that you should be paying for. If I'm in Christchurch or St. Michael and I'm getting clear water and I am paying for it, the people of St. Lucie should not be paying water bills. And we wrote to the BWA earlier this year. They acknowledged our letter. What have they done? Did they cut a part of the bill? We are agitating for the people of St. Lucie who are getting brown water not to pay bills. If this government can travel all over the world to the tune of billions of dollars every year, stop traveling and look after the people in St. Lucie. Fix the problem. I think the Prime Minister said this week it's going to be fixed. While we are waiting the fix, stop sending the people bills. A man who is getting brown water is not getting water. He's not getting potable water. He's not getting the kind of water for which he should be having a bill. That is the Democratic Labour Party's official position. You are cheating, government, you're cheating the people of Barbados if you're asking them to pay bills for water that they cannot cook with, water they cannot wash white clothes with. The only thing they can do with that water is wet gardens. Please, that's our position. Gentlemen, look forward to seeing you at 4:30 on Sunday evening, Checker Hall. I think it's Checker Hall, Direct. It's not Checker Hall? Okay, let's resolve it. At the St. Lucie Parish Church, Church Hall, 4:30. I think the new Reverend down there is Hugh Sandyford, proper man. I hope Hugh opens the church hall early for us. And you, the viewers, you're welcome. Those in Barbados, we're streaming this meeting. Lovely. So in the diaspora, you'll be seeing this meeting. You'll be seeing our new candidate, Ian Sixes Griffith. He is the man who is going to win St. Lucie for this great Democratic Labour Party. It's been an absolute pleasure coming to you again. See you next Tuesday. Have a good night. God bless. Goodbye.
United as a nation, blessed from above, strong to have made it this far,
unafraid of the future, surrounded by love,
proud of who we are.
These fields and the hills beyond recall, they lift us up and never let us fall.
We write on the pages of history, legends to legacy. We will all stand together as one. This is our
Barbados. It's a new season, a new day. Together we rise, one people, one hope, one DLP.
We've been through trials, we've been through pain, but hope is rising like the morning rain. Voices of the people, strong and true. A brighter tomorrow is waiting for you. Honest voices, standing tall, balance justice, one and all, trust restored. The people say a brand new dawn begins today. One family call, one Barbados, a place for all. Hope is rising, the vision clear. God bless this land we all hold dear. From north to south, east to west, we stand together, giving our best for justice and fairness. We answer the call. One DLP means hope for all. Honest voices, standing tall, balanced justice, one and all, hand in hand, we'll find the way. A brighter dawn begins today. One family call, one Barbados, a place for all. Hope is rising, the vision clear. God bless this land we all hold dear. One vision, one people, together we rise, with faith in our hearts and hope in our eyes. Stronger united, no voice too small. One DLP, one Barbados for all. Called DLP, the people's choice. Hear the power in every voice. Hope is rising, the vision clear. A blessed Barbados starts right here. One DLP, one family call, one Barbados, a place for all. Hope is rising, the vision clear. God bless this land we all hold dear. Oh, people, one DLP, one family call, one Barbados, a place for all. Hope is rising, the vision clear. God bless this land. We all, we all, we all, we all, we all, we all, forever strong.
Stay informed, Barbados. Tune in to DLP TV, Honest Voices for the People. Every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Real conversations, real clarity. Your platform for the truth. DLP TV, Honest Voices for the People.